So you beat Farrell, and I've only read about it because, as you said, it's not exactly been. It wasn't on TV or wasn't a high-profile fight. So you win. It was maybe considered an upset. I don't know what your memory of the fight is. Like, what I read is just after the final bell, Farrell collapses and is rushed to hospital. Does he collapse in front of you, or does that happen? Does he? Oh wow!
It does. Yeah, we put on a great fight. It was 10 rounds for the English title, and it was, like I say, I think because it wasn't on TV, not as many seen it, but anyone there, it was seen by a lot of people as a small old fight of the year. And it was, we put on a great fight, but it was then overshadowed because of what happened after the fight, where sadly, Kieran collapsed in the ring not long after the final bell, before the decision was given, and he got rushed into hospital.
You must have been absolutely rocked by that. Like you're fearing the worst.
I mean, me and Kieran are good friends now, but I remember after it, and I think I said in the book, which recently, there's a memory that will never ever leave me, where Kieran was getting carried out the ring on a stretcher, an oxygen mask, and his mum's got hold of the stretcher. She's breaking her heart, holding on to it. Her son's getting carried out, and that for me is the darkest moment of my boxing career. Forgetting he lost it, that for me was a very sort of dark, sort of horrible place sort of to be. I mean, like I said, at this point, I'd not even been announced a winner.
I'd say that announcement was fairly. I'd say that announcement was pretty mooted.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. I'd say that announcement. I mean, did they even bother to? They announce you're the winner. I wouldn't say there's much celebration or cheering.
Yeah, no, that's it. They announced us, and what should have been like a celebration of having a good win against a good lad in Kieran. It wasn't even a, whatever. And obviously they have to announce it, but it wasn't even important. It wasn't slightly important. So it was obviously it was much tougher for Kieran, but it was very tough for me as well.
Like, how quickly do you get word that he's going to be okay? Like, do you go back to your dressing room? Do you go home? Do you go to the hospital?
Back to the dressing rooms and all sorts of, it's like sort of Chinese, just as some people saying he's going to be okay, then some people say he's took a turn for the worst, and it's horrible. I remember that night not really sleeping at all, and you constantly sort of, which isn't the best place for it, I'm constantly looking on social media for updates, and I'm waiting for text messages, what I'm getting all night, and it wasn't, very nice at all, but it wasn't until sort of the day after when I heard that Kieran was then stable. But obviously it had been a bleed on the brain that, sort of, I wouldn't say he was in the clear, but it wasn't sort of as critical. He was in hospital for a while, but it wasn't, it wasn't very nice at all.
I can imagine. So, is it a week, 2 weeks before things calm down? Do you go and see him? Like, when does news hit you that his boxing career is over?
I mean, I knew straight. They didn't announce it, but any boxer who has a bleed on the brain is never going to be able to fight again, or certainly not get a license with the British Boxing Board. So that for me was hard as well, knowing that Kieran was just a lad who trained so hard. I just wanted, he had the same dream as me, and he the passion, the desire that he had. I think there's a lot of similarities in that sense. How hard we trained, and to have that dream taken away from him is very cruel.
Yeah.
But this half sounds bad, but we've spoke about his sins, and Kieran had also said, it was a good thing that I did leave it a bit of time, but I didn't actually see him for a good few months.
Right.
After it, I didn't know whether it was the awkwardness, and then, I knew I'd been in touch over the phone and stuff, but I'd not seen him in person. Obviously, I had fights coming up as well, and it hit me very hard, like that. And
as in guilty?
Yeah, I did feel a bit like that, yeah. And obviously, since case it could have been the damage was done possibly before the fight, or whoever was in the ring that night would have been that, person. But yeah, you feel a bit of, Yeah, a little bit of guilt, really. It's that's not the right thing to say, because but we both know, and all boxers know, once they get in the ring, they take that risk and they put the health on the line, and without sounding too dramatic, your life on the line to an extent.
Well, we had, just by coincidence, we had Ray Mancini on the show a couple of months ago, who, you know, was world champion at 21 back in the 80s. It's the 30-year anniversary, and you know, he was talking like he was unlucky enough in that the guy he was in the ring with didn't make it, and you know, it just completely ruined his career anyway, if not his life.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only imagine, because that hit me very hard, and Kieran's made a great recovery.
Right, and
whereas with Ray, it was much tougher to, you know, for someone to lose their life like that. And I think, like you said, that's probably, it took such a long time to sort of build up the courage. And I remember one day I'd agreed to it, and I remember thinking, I kept wanting to put it off, and literally I put the postcode of Kieran's gym. At this time he'd had a gym, Bill, and he started training lads. Put the postcode in, and before I could change my mind, I phoned him and told him I was on the way, and bang, I was on my way. And while I was on there, I was thinking, I wish I could get out of this, but I knew I had to do it, if that makes sense. And then literally within 10 seconds, everything was cool.
Great.
There was never any like bad blood between us, but obviously it was, and Kieran sort of said to it, no, I'm glad that you probably did leave a bit, because he's probably still a bit raw for him as well. And he's good now. Like you say, we speak regular, support his shows. He's doing brilliant. He's got a great little stable. He's putting on shows. He's one of the hardest working men in British boxing. He's put shows on over in Ireland. He's ambitious lad, and he gives an awful lot to his lads as well.
You were never regarded as a big puncher.
No.
That said, do you I'm sure it was a thing for Ray Mancini as well. How do you go from the Farrell fight to trying to hurt an opponent again in the ring?
Well, my coach, Joe Elgar, and people around me said that I'd just lost an edge. I'd lost an edge to me of sort of when you need to pull the trigger, and I didn't know it, and I didn't think it at the time, but when I look back now, I probably did, and it took me a while to get it back. Whether it be a few years, I don't know. I don't know so much, but the people around me said that. And
it's not surprising, really, because you
not at all.
Even on a subconscious level, if you have that moment where Kieran Farrell collapses in your memory somewhere, and his mother is stretching him out of the ring, I mean, my God, what an image! On some level, more than anything, you're not going to want to see that again at your hands. So that's a very understandable. You know, the brain is a complicated thing. That's going to be in there somewhere.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just saying, the brain is a complicated thing, and so the memory you'd have of Kieran falling that night, that's going to be in your head somewhere going forward.
Shake off, and like I said, that's a memory that'll live with me forever. That the memory of his mother, and you remember things from the fight, but I remember the fight pretty well, but obviously that, you know, that things you can forget. You can forget things like that, but the image of him getting stretched off, well, never ever will do. So maybe, like you said, that's why it has an effect. And probably when I saw Kieran, that helped ease that a little bit. That helped that ease it a little bit, and it just shows sort of, all sports can be dangerous, but it shows, certainly the sport I'm in, or any contact sports, it shows the risk.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that latest offering from Off the Ball. If you want to subscribe, and you should, check out just up here. All our latest stuff is just down here. Generally, knock yourself out.